Now on to Glider 4. Glider 4 was written by John Calhoun and released around 1991. This time as a commercial game published by the now defunct Casady Greene. Glider 4 was a complete rewrite of the game, and it's certainly noticeable. This game also has a level editor that spawned a community of people creating and swapping houses. I don't think I've ever dabbled in house creation, but I have played some of the fantastic creations people came up with back then. In this review, we're going to look at the default house that shipped with the game. This game takes Glider to the next level, adding new enemies, traps, and power-ups into the mix. The two power-ups in this game are the battery and rubber bands. The battery gives you a temporary speed boost while you hold down the key and is essential to complete the game. It also helps you collect some extra lives. It drains fast though, so you'll want to save it till you really need it. The rubber band finally gives you a way to fight back against some of the bad guys in the house. Hit the key and it'll shoot straight across the room. I've found it's really not necessary to use the rubber band. You can complete the game without it. Honestly, I forget that I even have it most of the time, and I don't think I've ever used it to help me complete a room. It's great to have it in the game. It might be useful to some people, but not me. In Glider 4, the controls have been greatly improved. You're not always in motion. If you stop holding a direction, your glider stops moving. Sometimes when you finally complete a trap, it's nice to be able to take a break. In the previous Glider game, it made you feel as if you were being rushed. This game lets you take your time and gather a plan to take on the next obstacle. I don't like the music in this game, or should I say I don't like the annoying bass note that restarts in each room. It gets faster and faster and makes me feel as if I need to hurry. If that's the point of it, it does its job, making me hurry through rooms and die all the time. At least the Windows version of this game actually lets you turn it off. If you play the game with a screen resolution higher than 512 by 342, the extra space on the sides of the screen are filled with instructions on how to build your own glider. You know what? Let's try this out. Alright, step 1 and 2. Fold these. Step 3. Fold this. Step 4. Something like this. Step 5. Fold this. Step 7. Fold this down. Step 8. Fold that like that. Fold this up here. Up that. And you're good to go. It's a snap. This glider design is actually pretty cool, and if you build it just right, the glider will work pretty well. Mine sucked. Dang it. The new obstacles in the game add to the challenge. For instance, if you get blown by a fan and you're facing it, it turns your glider around, which means you'll have to search for another fan if you want to turn back around. Another cool thing is the jars of grease. They allow you to actually land on surfaces and slide along them. Watch out though, the grease spreads slowly and you can't touch an area that isn't greased up. The default house has 64 levels, most of which are designed to be challenging. The main goal is to get your glider to the top floor of the house and out the window. The game gets extremely difficult towards the end of the game. I died so many times that I can tell you that there's 168 papers on the screen. In my opinion, the hardest spot in the game is this room, Double Jeopardy. The ball and the dripping water are in such a small area that it's impossible to get past without using the battery. I gave Glider 4.5 stars out of 5. I love this game. If you've never played it, it's worth checking out. There's no OS X version that I know of, but the Windows version is still fully functional in Windows 7. The game has no major flaws, though there are some evil placements of extra lives. I've also noticed the graphics glitching up on me a tiny bit. I'm pretty sure it's just my black and white artwork file is probably a little corrupted. I found another copy and it fixed it for the most part. I recommend checking this game out. It's free on the author's website. Look at that tornado. I wouldn't want to live in that house.